A legacy of kindness. Walter Greene was a man whose life had been defined by sacrifice. An elderly black man, he had given everything to raise two abandoned children he discovered one freezing night in a dark alley. Yet decades later, that same life of quiet courage was almost destroyed by cruelty. His boss, a bitter man named Harland, framed him for a crime he didn't commit. Whispers filled the courtroom, calling him a thief, a liar, unworthy of mercy. And as the gavel prepared to fall, Walter's hope began to fade. But then two figures stepped forward, and what they revealed shook the entire room. Before we continue, if this is your support keeps these stories alive. Stick with us till the end. And if this story moves you, share it, comment, and let others feel it too. The cold winter that started it all. The winter was merciless, biting through old coats and worn shoes. Industrial streets smelled of smoke and steel, where people rushed home, eyes down, ignoring anyone left behind. After a long shift at the steel factory, Walter limped home, the result of years of hard labor. His boss mocked him constantly, calling him slow, useless, lucky to even hold a job. But Walter never argued. He endured, kept his head low, and swallowed the pain like he always did. That night he passed a narrow alley behind a diner, the hum of freezer fans mixed with the whistling wind. There, huddled against a dumpster, were two children, pale, shivering, clothed in rags. The boy's arm shielded his younger sister from the cold. Walter stopped. He could have walked away, like everyone else, but something inside him wouldn't allow it. "You two got anywhere to go?" he asked gently. Silence, just a shake of the head. Walter exhaled, fogging the cold night air. He knew what it meant to be invisible, to be discarded. He couldn't leave them there. "Not tonight," he said, holding out a calloused hand. The girl's tiny fingers slipped into his, ice-cold but trusting. That was all it took. A home from nothing. Walter's apartment was a single rattling heater, but it was warmer than the alley. Neighbors whispered. "That fool," one muttered, "dragging strays into his apartment." Another chuckled. Walter heard but ignored them. He spread blankets, warmed broth, and watched the children eat like they hadn't eaten in days. That night, despite aches in his back and a limp in his leg, Walter felt a quiet pride. These children would not sleep on frozen concrete again. The sacrifices that built a family. Life didn't get easier. Walter labored in a steel factory, each clang of machinery shaking his bones. Harland, his cruel boss, thrived on humiliation. "Even those orphans you dragged home move faster than you," he would shout. Coworkers laughed, some uneasy, some eager. Walter didn't respond. He pushed through, each insult carried home, the weight heavy on his shoulders. At night, the children lifted him. Eli, always with a book, eager to read aloud. Grace, sketching houses far warmer and brighter than the one they had. Walter shared his meager food, patched Eli's jacket, saved coins for Grace's shoes. On nights when the heater failed, he huddled them close, pretending he wasn't cold. Neighbors gossiped. "A black man raising white kids? They'll turn on him." Walter heard but didn't answer. He poured himself into the children. He taught Eli to change a tire, shake a hand with dignity. He taught Grace to manage coins, stand tall even when the world tried to shrink her. Harland mocked him endlessly, even cutting his pay when Walter took Grace to the clinic. But Walter ignored the cost. The children mattered more than anything else. Years of quiet triumph. Years passed. Eli grew into a brilliant student, winning scholarships Harland scoffed at. Grace found her voice, challenging the world with confidence. Walter's body aged, his back bent, hands roughened, but his heart swelled with pride. His kindness was planting seeds that were now flourishing. Yet Harland's bitterness had only grown. He watched Walter's life with envy and malice, waiting for an opportunity. That opportunity came one autumn morning. Two police officers stood at Walter's door. Searching his apartment, they found a small bag of cash and factory equipment. Walter was handcuffed. Harland smirked, telling everyone, "Kindness doesn't pay." The courtroom battle. In the courtroom, Walter sat hunched, his life of sacrifice on trial. Witnesses lied, prosecutors twisted facts. The judge's gavel threatened a life sentence. Walter's hope sank. Maybe Harland was right. Maybe a man like him could never rise above his place. And then the courtroom doors creaked open. Two adults stepped in, Eli and Grace. Not the shivering children of that alley, but grown, shaped by Walter's sacrifices. Gasps filled the room. Harland's smirk faltered. Walter froze. His children were here, ready to fight for him. Eli, now a lawyer, slammed legal files. The power of kindness. Walter's chest swelled as Eli placed a hand on his shoulder. Grace whispered, "You don't have to carry it alone anymore, Dad." That single word echoed louder than any gavel. Neighbors fell silent. Reporters scribbled furiously. Walter, old and weary, straightened his back and lifted his eyes. The man who had once saved two children from the cold had now been saved by them. Kindness had come full circle. Every act of compassion, he realized, plants a seed, and when the time is right, it can grow strong enough to save even a life. Closing message.
This story reminds us sacrifices, patience, and kindness are never wasted. They may return in ways we never imagined. If you want more stories of justice, redemption, and courage, subscribe and watch the next video. You won't want to miss it.